Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new inductee in the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. Charles Wright, better known as The Godfather, is the new inductee. Now, he has had a pretty, he went through a lot of transformations in his career, but the most notoriety, I think everybody would agree, that was obviously The Godfather. He originally started out, this was a long time ago. Started out as Sir Charles. He was kind of like a standby kind of wrestler, and right in the beginning, and then he repackaged himself as Papa Shango, and he had a very, very noticeable and memorable feud with the Ultimate Warrior. If anybody remembers that, this was like in the early '90s. Then he came back a few years later as Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine. It was in Million Dollar Corporation, and he was just like it's just basically mid-card status. He wasn't really like people knew who he was, but it was still just kind of like another guy for a while. But then he came back as like Kama Mustafa when he was in the Nation of Domination, and I think he got a little more notoriety with the Nation. But then he turned into the Godfather of the Nation of Domination, and then that just kind of snowballed and evolved for him being the Godfather. And it was just one of the most original things that you could ever see for wrestling. This guy was bringing out girls that he called, hoes. He called them hoes. He was like portraying this character as being a pimp. And it was just, one of the most original gimmicks you'll ever see for wrestling. I'm sure people, especially back then, they would go to see the wrestling events just to see the Ho Train. He would have like a whole shitload of girls come out with him. When he started to get more popular with all that, and he was like, I want you to take that blunt out and light it up for the Godfather, and say Pippin ain't easy. Like, this is crazy, man. He was a cool guy, It's cool shit. But they recognized that, and his popularity obviously grew, and he definitely got his claim to fame with that Godfather gimmick, and it was cool. It obviously caught on. He did it at a very, very good time in the business, obviously during the Attitude Era, and it was cool to see all that. He's a funny dude, you know what I mean? It's awesome. He actually did have a brief stint, or I don't know, a brief little like time period where he was called the Good Father in the Right to Censor, and he was like trying to reform his ways. Like Val Venus was in that group, and Steven Richards, and they were like trying to clean up wrestling, and just try to like make everything more formidable or whatever. But I think he came back after that, a few years later, and he said that he was like an escort. He was running an escort business instead of being actual pimp, and saying like he's legit. Like I don't know. It's funny, It's all entertainment, That's what it really comes down to. And Godfather is definitely one of the WWE legends. Obviously, he's being inducted in the Hall of Fame. He definitely. I'm sure a lot of people know who the Godfather is, and I'm just glad that he made it into the Hall of Fame. He definitely deserves it with his popularity and everything like that. His gimmick was awesome. But I just wanted to share that with everybody, and that's about it. Enjoy Monday Night Raw, and enjoy the road to WrestleMania. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, and I will see you when I see you.